Hello, I have an example. We are going to find the centroid of the object shown on the screen. So we have some type of block and there's a couple cutouts. So what I have done on the right hand side is I have built a chart or a little graph there, not a graph, table, there you go, a table in order to solve for this. And this makes it easier for me. Sometimes the book does it different ways. You can do it however you want. Just remember what we're trying to get to are these two equations. And if you've noticed, at the very end of my table, I have pretty much YA, YA. I have my area, XA, XA, and I have my area. So all I need to do is get these numbers down here, plug them into my equation to get my Y bar and my X bar, which is going to give me my centroid, which is going to be, I'm guessing, somewhere, let's do different color, somewhere in here. Now, how I have broken this up is I have taken, let's see if I can draw this here. I have taken this whole area right here and I called that number 2. I called my triangle number 1, and then this piece that I have cut out that I'm highlighting in red here, I'm calling that 3. So that's how I'm going to compute everything in my table looking at those 3 geometrical shapes. So for number 1, the area is 3 feet times 3 feet divided by 2, so 1/2 times 3 feet times 3 feet is going to be 4.5 feet squared. Now you notice that I put all my units up on the top. I guess I should finish that. And notice those are feet cubed. That way I don't have to write all my units in the table. It's just easier to have them up on the top. For number 2, my area is going to be 3 times 3. So I get 3 feet times 3 feet. And that's going to be 9 square feet. And for number 3, it's going to be 2 times 1, which is going to be 2 feet square feet, but this is going to be negative. Remember, this is a negative area. Now my distance, so my X bar, and now you notice where the axis is. We're actually coming from right here. So looking at this axis, if this axis is here, I'm kind of highlighting it in red there. Here's my X. I need to go from here to here. Now, if my axis was way over here, the distance would be from this point, or from the y-axis out here to here, but we have our x-axis, or I'm sorry, my y-axis here. So, this we know is 1/3 times 3. So this is 1/3 times 3 feet is going to be 1 foot. So this 1 foot from the y-axis. Now on number 2, now I'm going backwards. I'm going negative. So this would be 3 divided by 2 would be 1/2. 1/2. And that would also be negative since I'm going in a negative direction. And also right here, number 3, the centroid's in here somewhere. It is half of 1. So if I was going from this distance to here, that would be 0.5. Then I have to add the 2 from here to here. So that's going to be a negative 2.5 feet. Now let's look at my y. Again, we're going up. We know this is 3 feet, so it's also going to be 1. That's also positive. Number 2, the y is also going up. It is half of 3, so it is going to be 1.5. And also, getting up to this point here, I'm going to mark this way out here like this. This distance here is the y bar for number 3. So I'm going up 1. We know half of 2 is 1, so we know plus 1 more would be 2. Now, once I have this stuff, it's all calculator. So now all I'm doing is multiplying 4.5 times 1. That's x times a. 4.5 times 1 is 4.5. 9 times negative 1.5 is negative 13.5. Negative 2 times negative 2.5 is going to give me 5. Now my y bar is the same. 1 times 4.5 again would be 4.5. And 9 here would be 9 times 1.5 would also be 13.5. That's 9 times 1.5. Those are both positive. And then down here at the bottom I have negative 2 times 2, which would be negative 4. Now, I don't need this and I don't need this, but I need my area for my equation down here, and I need my x bar a, x bar here, y bar here. I need these two numbers for the top of my two equations. So all I'm doing is summing these up. So if I add 4.5, 5, and 13.5, I come up with negative 4 feet cubed. Here I get 14.0 feet cubed. And for my area, I came up with 11.5 feet squared. Now, plugging into my equation, x bar times a was negative 4. So this was negative 4 feet cubed divided by my area, which was 11.5 feet squared. So that comes out to be a negative 0.35 feet. And my y bar would be 14.0 feet cubed over 11.5 feet squared comes out to be 1.22 feet. So those are my two. So I'll write them here. X bar is negative 0.35 feet, and my y bar is 1.22 feet. Now, this all depends on where your axis is. So note that if I wanted to draw my actual centroid in here, I go negative 0.35, so it'd be in here somewhere, and then up 1.22, so it'd be right here somewhere. So that's my actual centroid. That would be my centroid right there. So this would be 0.35 negative, and then this distance here would be 1.22 feet up. So I hope this helps. We'll do one more example. If you have any questions, let me know. One more thing I do want to say is, remember, note where your axis is in order to find the centroid. That's going to be to find your x bar and your y bar for each piece of the composite section. I think is key to most of these problems. Alright, thank you.